The world may have ended, but Junkyard Joust continues. Baby Humongous Cookie rules over the joust with an iron fist. If you want fuel, she's got it, but you have to win. And to win the Junkyard Joust, you have to survive.
35 teams have entered the Apocalypse Joust, but only one of them can win. Tonight, these 5 teams will be the first ones to compete. 2 teams will move on, 3 will not. Let's take a closer look at our competitors. Sent in by DRT3K, it's Beast Mode, a team of fierce-looking animal vehicles. Crazy Dave's Zombie Patrol. Wherever this team came from, they must have a big zombie problem, although probably a lot less because of these vehicles. Before the Apocalypse, there was the Custom Joust, and Numbskull Racing won that. It'll be interesting to see how Numbskull fares in the Apocalypse. Sent in by Scrapyard, it's the Worst Responders. This team looks ready to dish out some punishment. I don't think you'd want them to come to your rescue. And from D's Jousting Imports, Zone Zero. Zone Zero must be a tough zone. These guys look like they're ready to go to war. The Track Buffer is on the track, sponsored by Track Buffer LLC, of course. And we'll start the joust if Baby Humongous Cookie gives the word.
Just run over the hydrant with your car.
There it is, and here we go. Round 1 of the Apocalypse Joust begins now. Pea Shooter starting off for Zombie Patrol. The rules are simple. A car is out at the end of the round if it's sideways or upside down. When 3 teams have lost all their vehicles, the match is over. First up for the Worst Responders, the Convict, sponsored by Bentley's Brakes and Bumpers. The Convict slams into Pea Shooter. Pea Shooter, nice job of staying on the track, bounces off that little car on the front of the bus. And here comes a 77 Dodge van that weighs 200 grams from Numbskull, sponsored by Chone. A massive hit on the back of the Convict, and somehow all the cars stay locked in despite that 200-gram pounding. And watch out if you're going down next, there's some springs on the back of that van. Let's see how Rage handles it for Beast Mode, sponsored by Judy Collins. Rage hits the springs and like some sort of an acrobat flips over and lands perfectly with cat-like grace upright. Great survival on that hit. Now we get to see another car hit those springs. It's gonna be Party Crasher for Zone Zero, sponsored by Farty Marty. Party Crasher slides into the back of the van, does not bounce back off the springs. A nice steady hit right there, locks it in. Next up for Zombie Patrol, Doom Shroom, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. A huge 138-gram hit, and wow, stuff's breaking off all over the place. Party Crasher pushes the Dodge van just enough up in the air that Doom Shroom manages to get underneath, and a big chunk of stuff on the back of Party Crasher, which I think was designed to protect it from this kind of stuff, breaks off. But Party Crasher is okay for now. Here comes Fire Drill with a huge drill bit on the front, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Fire Drill sends Party Crasher careening off the track. Party Crasher keeps it nice and level. Fire Drill tries to drill Doom Shroom, but whatever the stuff is on the front and back of that car, it is solid. Up now it's Bubble Gunner with a nice blade on the front from Numbskull, sponsored by Sicken. A powerful hit from Bubble Gunner, Fire Drill and Doom Shroom go up, but Bubble Gunner can't quite power them off the track. They are staying locked in. For Beast Mode, Stegatops Rex, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Another big hit, but not much happening to the line of cars. Bubble Gunner does manage to get underneath Fire Drill. Big chunk of paint rips off one of the cars over to the right. Looks like that might be a truck of some sort underneath there. Nightmare Fuel for Zone Zero, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. Nightmare Fuel smashes into the line. Looks like that front ramp is kind of flexible, and the back ramp for that matter. We'll see if it works like a ramp for the next car coming down. It's gonna be Cherry Bomb for Zombie Patrol, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Cherry Bomb, whoa, that was weird. Just bounces off of that ramp. It's not really a ramp if you're bouncing off of it, I guess. Maybe it's just there to protect the car, which it did very nicely. Flatliner's up for the Worst Responders, 108 grams on this thing, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Oh, some damage as the prongs, I think, break off the front of Flatliner, and something else broke off too. I can't even tell what's going on there. Stuff is flying all over the place. Maybe part of the bumper or whatever was holding those prongs on. Man, that was some damage right there. But Flatliner stays locked in. Another 200-gram vehicle hauling gas from Numbskull, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. Oh man, the rest of the bumper comes off of Flatliner, flops off to the side. Look at all the springs jiggling all over the place. Man, a lot going on here. Flatliner makes a great recovery by a van of all things. And look at this. The Convict is squeezed out up at the front and turns over upside down. Kite now for Beast Mode, sponsored by Reaper EOD. Interesting looking ramp on the back of Holland Gas, but somehow Kite avoids it and just kind of gets stuck in the middle or something. Might have been the perfect car to avoid going off of that. Torpedo Carbide for Zone 0, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Oh, Kite gets his face stuck, I think, yeah, in the back of that ramp, and then it topples over sideways. Carbide, a nice job of dislocating it from the track, and just enough to keep it eliminated if it stays like that. And this is Squash for the Zombie Patrol, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. It is long and heavy. Massive damage from the undercutter on the front of Squash. Holland Gas is toppled over despite having that ramp turn sideways. Carbide makes a nice recovery. One 200-gram vehicle taking out another, and that is going to be a vehicle to watch out for. You do not want to go down before that thing goes. Rough Justice for the Worst Responders, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Rough Justice slams into, I guess it hit Kite. Started sliding off the track. Must be those spikes on the front of the car. Looks like a couple of them broke off, but the car for now is stable and it's got a nice protection barrier at the back. Here comes Duck and Roll with some saws on the front for Numbskull, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Duck and Roll mashes Rough Justice way down the track. I can't even see if it recovered. It looks like it probably was about to. Another spike breaks off the front, and there goes landing upright. Great recovery after a nasty hit from those saw blades. Dino's up for Beast Mode, sponsored by Regal Radio. Dino tries to take out Duck and Roll and does it for the moment. Duck and Roll still on the track though, so this is not over. Dino tries to escape the track, doesn't quite get off. Zombie Hunter 2.0 for Zone 0, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. Zombie Hunter succeeds in righting Duck and Roll with that hit, smacks its front claws into Duck and Roll and brings it back to life and goes curbside. Walnut up for Zombie Patrol, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Walnut gets underneath Zombie Hunter and takes it out sideways on the track. Duck and Roll makes a nice recovery. Walnut's got a nice undercutter up front, some protection in the rear. Duck and Roll off to safety. Grim Reapo up now, sponsored by Beak's Busted Barn Finds. Grim Reapo comes to a dead stop on Walnut. The shovel on the front can't quite get underneath, and we're starting to back up the track in a dangerous position here. Turtle Shell worked great for Numbskull in the custom match. Why not try it again? Sponsored by Reaper EOD. Turtle Shell tries to push Grim Reapo off the track, even gets its front legs into it a little bit, but can't muscle its way forward and pushes back. It'll be followed up by another Turtle Shell, Tiny, for Beast Mode, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Tiny slams into the other Turtle Shell, and they're both locked in now. Final car of the round, Uranium for Zone 0, sponsored by TJG. Uranium gets under Tiny. Tiny gets flopped off the track, but then rebounds off the other Turtle Shell and lands it. A recovery. We're going to end up with only 5 cars eliminated in this round. We've got some survivors on our hands, that's for sure. Look at all that damage. Lots of bits fell off of a bunch of these cars. And there you can see the 5 eliminations and assorted pieces of vehicles. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Numbskull took the biggest damage here, losing 2 cars. Worst Responders, Zone 0, and Beast Mode each lost 1, and Crazy Dave Zombie Patrol did not lose a car. Smashing our way into round 2, starting off with the Zombie Patrol. Pea-Shooter starting out again. It worked the first round, why not do it again? Pea-Shooter blasts the track buffer off the track completely. And then Fire Drill does the same courtesy for Pea-Shooter. Pea-Shooter, a nice balanced recovery right off the side of the track. That is exactly what you want to see. And now Nightmare Fuel ambles into place. A nice padded, cushy hit. Knocks Fire Drill up to the front, and now it's in position. Pretty well protected by whatever those ramps are made out of. Maybe just some wood planks covered in tarp. That's kind of what it looks like. Rage heaves into Nightmare Fuel. Nightmare Fuel gets slightly displaced curbside, but not off the track. Nice tap. Duck and Roll takes the saws to Rage, but Rage, a beautiful swinging recovery, flips around and lands it, drives up to the front. Duck and Roll manages to get off the track to safety. That's always a good move when you can pull it off. And now Nightmare Fuel is locked back in again. 138 gram hit, and wow, does Nightmare Fuel do a great job of surviving that. Look at that flipping bounce back, absorbs all the impact and just barely gets dislodged. Amazing. Flatliner plows into the big bolstered bumper of Doom Shroom, does a lot of tumbling and flipping around, but somehow ends up right side out. Nightmare Fuel also makes a nice surprising recovery there, just flips right over perfectly. 2 solid recoveries there. Party Crasher slams into place, debris flying everywhere. Wow, just a big impact, and Flatliner scoots off to safety. Stegotops Rex pushes Doom Shroom up under Fire Drill, and wow, some more debris flying all over the place. I think that's coming off a Party Crasher. These cars definitely doing a number to each other, lots of damage. And now Bubble Gunner gets underneath Stegotops, more debris flying all over the place. Stegotops not quite dislodged, coming off the track, but not there yet. Walnut finishes the job pushing Stegotops off the track, and now the cars are lined up and locked in. Party Crasher's starting to get under Doom Shroom. Grim Reapo takes on Walnut, similar result as last round, pushes into it, but it's nice and stable, and Grim Reapo locks it in. Uranium from Zone 0 tries to get underneath Grim Reapo. Grim Reapo is not having it, denied. Dino slams Uranium, doesn't go off the back of it. Actually, the gun, I think, prevented it from going off, and locks it in. Numbskull standing down Turtle Shell. A nice hit from Turtle Shell takes Dino out. Turtle on Dinosaur Violence. We'll see if Dino stays like that. Turtle Shell curbside. And get ready because Squash is coming down next. A spectacular plunging hit from Squash gets underneath 4 vehicles. They all go flying up in the air. Turtle Shell gets hurled all the way down the track. Wow, look at this, and not a single car gets eliminated from that hit. Squash did not take out his teammate Walnut. Dino recovers, Uranium recovered, and Turtle Shell, nice, lands over by the barrels, right side up. And Grim Reapo also survives. Amazing recoveries by all those vehicles. Ooh, Rough Justice with 1 remaining spike in front. It breaks off and forces the car over and upside down. Still on the track though, so this is not over. Torpedo Carbide plays tough with Rough Justice. Justice turns sideways now. Still a chance of recovery from that position. Looks like it wants to. Beast Mode sends down Tiny. Tiny collides and gets a little bit curbside. No recoveries or damage on that hit. Cherry Bomb knocks Tiny and Carbide off the track, and look at that, oof, just barely flips over sideways, and that is gonna be one of the Turtle Shells eliminated. That was the last car of the round, so no chance of recovery here, despite all that destruction and all the action. Only 2 eliminations in the round. Turtle Shell and Rough Justice not making it out. Man, so many survives in that round. This is quite the battle going on right here. Beast Mode goes down to 3, Worst Responders go down to 3, 3 teams down to 3, 1 at 4, and Zombie Patrol at 5. As is their tradition right now, Pea Shooter going down first for Zombie Patrol. Sometimes when you've got an order that works, you stick to it. Next up is Nightmare Fuel, tosses Pea Shooter off the track. Pea Shooter a little bit close to sideways. Man, more stuff flying out. How much more damage can be done? Looks like a lot of that stuff is chunks left over from the previous rounds. Grim Reapo hits Nightmare Fuel hard, and the plow breaks off the front of Grim Reapo. Some more damage now. Chunks flying everywhere. These cars go so fast and hit so hard, there's just been damage in each round. Well, maybe Grim Reapo didn't even need the plow. Duck and Roll makes a nice roll and an evasion, lands upright off the track. Perfect job right there, no damage and a great survival. Rage slaps the plowless Grim Reapo over and sideways. There's still a chance Grim Reapo can get out of this, but there's gonna have to be a big impact. And there you go, Walnut provides the big impact. Grim Reapo escapes off and lands right side up. Rage also makes a nice recovery over by Duck and Roll. Uranium tries to squeeze under. Walnut cannot do it. Walnut stuck between Nightmare Fuel and Uranium right now. Doesn't seem too bothered. Fire Drill pokes into the back of Uranium. Doesn't really do any damage. Maybe loosens that gun a little bit up on the top. Wouldn't be surprised if we see more pieces flying off of these vehicles pretty soon. And yep, what did I say? Fire Drill takes out the gun on its way over and upside down, lands on top of it. The axe comes off of the car too. All the weapons get removed from Uranium. Fire Drill tries to make a recovery. Man, look at how close that is, lying on top of all the apparatus from Uranium. Stegotop slams Bubble Gunner and Fire Drill makes a recovery. Bubble Gunner cannot get underneath Uranium. Doom Shroom takes down Stegotops, gets it hung up on the screws on the top of Bubble Gunner. Stegotops just can't quite handle the fall and doesn't make a recovery. And that's gonna be a loss for Beast Mode. Party Crasher gets underneath Doom Shroom just a little bit. Will it be enough to toss Doom Shroom off the track? And Fire Drill makes that recovery permanent. Flatliner tries to help Party Crasher get Doom Shroom, but Doom Shroom is still level, staying solid, getting underneath Bubble Gunner now. Turtle Shell assists in trying to get Doom Shroom. Doom Shroom is not sideways, definitely in danger though. Zombie Patrol still haven't lost a vehicle. Dino attacks Turtle Shell from behind. Turtle Shell flips off and over and makes a spectacular recovery. Turtle Shell may be escaping just in time. Squash coming down. Squash tosses Dino high into the air. Dino twirling around over and over and over. Did he land it? He did. Right side up over in the corner. Amazing landing. And Bubble Gunner now flipped over from that hit. Flatliner makes an incredible recovery. And Doom Shroom tipped sideways by their own teammate. Torpedo hits the wall that is Squash. Party Crasher turned almost sideways. That is close right there, but it looks right side up to me. And Cherry Bomb, final car of the round, hits the line, doesn't really do any damage. Looks like nothing changes except maybe Party Crasher is more likely right side up. Yep, that's definitely not past 45-degree angle. 3 eliminations on the round, a close call for Nightmare Fuel, just exactly at the 45-degree angle, and gonna go on to the next round. Here are your 3 eliminations. Zombie Patrol finally showing a crack in the armor. More damage there too. Beast Mode and Numbskull down to 2, Zombie Patrol down to 4. Worst Responders in Zone 0 stay steady at 3 and 4 respectively. We're bashing our way into round 4. It's been a solid performance by all of these teams so far. Everybody's still in it, nobody down to even 1 car yet. And Zone 0 hoping to challenge Zombie Patrol here, 4 cars apiece. They started us off. Zombie Patrol sending down Cherry Bomb, does a little dislodging there of Nightmare Fuel, but nothing major. Flatliner with a big hit and yet more damage somehow to the front of that vehicle. Tips over sideways. Cherry Bomb also in trouble. Rage manages to shut Flatliner off the track. Flatliner can't quite manage the recovery. Looked like he was gonna, but then toppled over sideways. Cherry Bomb made it off safe. Duck and roll with an aggressive hit on Rage. Knocks it up in the air and then comes down on top of it, slamming Rage into the track, and Rage cannot make a recovery. Nice move there by Duck and Roll. Party Crasher tosses Duck and Roll off the track. A nice steady dismount. Rage still improbably hanging out upside down. Squash careens into Zone 0's vehicles, both of them getting thrown off the track. Party Crasher goes over, upside down, pieces flying everywhere. Absolute devastation, and Party Crasher is stuck upside down. Somehow, Nightmare Fuel makes a recovery out of that. Man, there's pieces everywhere. And after all that, Rage makes a nice recovery alongside Squash. These teams will have a chance to do repairs if they make it through to the semifinals. They're gonna need it. Fire Drill does a little drill tap in the back of Squash. Dino lines it up on the track. The car is reforming the line after that devastating hit from Squash. Turtle Shell helps Dino escape the track on his way off. Uranium gets underneath Fire Drill, but Fire Drill does a nice job of sticking on top and staying on the track. Might be poking into the back of Squash for balance. Walnut pushes Uranium farther up the track, almost gets under Squash, can't quite do it. Fire Drill is a little bit precarious here. And some friendly fire from Grim Reaper. Fire Drill knocked over sideways as Walnut is tossed off the back of Uranium. Walnut not tipping over there, and a tough loss for Worst Responders. Torpedo Carbide slots into place, can't get any action on the track. Pea Shooter, final vehicle of the round. No eliminations on that hit. 3 eliminations and a lot of damage on the field. Worst Responders taking the worst of it with 2 eliminations. Taking a look at the aftermath. Beast Mode and Numbskull steady at 2. Worst Responders go down to 1. Zombie stays steady at 4. Zone 0 down to 3. We're heading into round 5. One team is definitely in danger right here. But then again, it's the Junkyard Joust. You never know what's going to happen. We've seen teams with 4 cars left go out in 1 round. Nightmare Fuel firms up the line with Pea Shooter up front, the buffer off track. And Duck and Roll actually takes the ramp on the back of Nightmare Fuel, flips over on that rounded head, and makes a nice recovery. A savage attack from Rage and Nightmare Fuel. It's knocked off and over sideways. Rage almost physically grabbing the back of the car and pushing it off the track, ending up curbside facing the other way. Grim Repo, the last car remaining for the Worst Responders, does a good job of staying alive, keeping steady on the track, and maybe just took Rage down. If Rage stays like that, it's going to be a close call. Cherry Bomb takes a crack at Grim Repo. Grim Repo, nice job of bouncing Cherry Bomb back, not letting Zombie Patrol boss him around. Uranium pushes Cherry Bomb up to the front, and we've got 4 cars slotted in. Turtle Shell dances off the back of the now gunless Uranium, flipping all over the place and making a fantastic recovery. Tumbles over Rage, hits the wall, and plants it. And that is going to keep both of Numbskull's vehicles in the match. Dino, a pretty lethargic hit right there. Uranium not willing to get off the track, and now all the cars are lined up for Squash. Big damage from Squash. Dino hurled into the wall. Cannot make the same effortless recovery it did last time. Uranium thrown over and upside down. Eliminated. 2 eliminations on that hit. Only car not eliminated, Cherry Bomb. Great job by Squash, not taking out his own teammate. Little tap there from Torpedo Carbide. Can't really move Squash too much. And Walnut's going to take it easy. No damage on that hit. And that was the most deadly round so far, with 1 team getting eliminated. 4 cars out. 2 from Beast Mode, 2 from Zone 0. Beast Mode made a mighty go of it, but their agility was not enough. And now Zone 0 is in trouble, along with Worst Responders, each at 1. Numbskull at 2, Zombie Patrol still at 4. Here we go, round 6. Zombie Patrol firmly in the lead. Honestly, probably they are their own biggest threat at this point. Got to be careful that they don't take down their own vehicles. Duck and Roll makes a go at Pea Shooter. Wow, look at that recovery. Pea Shooter looks like it is done, and it twists around right at the end and makes a fantastic recovery. It looks like that could be a tough vehicle to eliminate out in the open. Grim Repo still fighting, takes it to Duck and Roll. Duck and Roll stays on the track this time. Torpedo Carbide slides under Grim Repo, tries to get it off the track, can't quite manage it. And there's the big hit, and it does some damage. Torpedo Carbide is in trouble right here. Tossed up higher than all the rest of the cars. Torpedo Carbide comes down sideways. Duck and Roll makes a great recovery. And Grim Repo, fantastic job of staying alive. Zone 0 hoping for a miracle right now. Headbutt from Turtle Shell pushes Squash all the way up to the front, and no miracle. Somehow Carbide looks like it's going to make a recovery, tilts over sideways, and is quite possibly out for good. Walnut takes a shot at Turtle Shell. Turtle Shell leaps off to safety. Cherry Bomb forced to take a shot at Walnut, but no damage there, as all the Zombie Patrol cars stay nice and locked in. That was the final car of round 6, and we are going to lose another team. Carbide is out. Zone 0 was looking so good earlier on in the match, but they were gradually taken down, and they are a second team to go out. One more team goes out, and this match is over. Round 7, here we go. Zombie Patrol making a name for themselves in this match. They are definitely going to be one to watch out for in the semifinals and potentially the finals. Duck and Roll takes another shot at Pea Shooter, but nothing's happening. Grim Reaper shunts Duck and Roll up into the front, the safety area. Duck and Roll gets stuck, flipped over upside down. The saws get hooked on the side of the track, I think, and that is going to be a tough position to recover from. Duck and Roll might be done. Oh no, Cherry Bomb knocks Grim Reapo over and out off the track onto the front. A faceplant by Grim Reapo, and it is in trouble. First responders gotta make a recovery here or they are done. Turtle Shell tries to help Duck and Roll get out of there and make a recovery. Doesn't work out though. Duck and Roll still sideways. Cherry Bomb poised on top of the track. A massive lunge from Squash. Turtle Shell hurled into the wall along with Cherry Bomb. Debris everywhere. Turtle Shell looks like it could get caught up in the wreckage, but then escapes to safety. Cherry Bomb not so lucky. Upside down, eliminated by his own teammate. Walnut, a nice slow hit on the back of Squash, and that is gonna do it. Final car of the round, final car of this match. What a brawl. These cars fighting it out tooth and nail. We've got our two teams that are going on to the semifinals. 3 cars eliminated in that round. 1 from each of the remaining teams. Worst responders, though, out. They only had the 1 car. Numbskull survives with Turtle Shell and Zombie Patrol down to 3. There's still a chance for any team that loses to get into the semifinals. After all 7 matches are done, the top 5 teams by points will compete. The 2 teams that survive that will make it into the semifinals. Baby Humongous Cookie has opened the vault. It's time to give out the gas. Zombie Patrol can carry a lot of gas with those vehicles. Numbskull gonna get some gas too. They're gonna need it as they head into the semifinals. The vault is closed for now. We'll see you again next time on Apocalypse Joust.
Okay, I'll see you later.
I'll be alternating between Apocalypse Joust and regular Joust every Sunday. And I also received the cars for a special Wreckfest match, so we'll be seeing that one very soon as well. Cheers, everybody. Please consider supporting this show. It really helps me create it and make it better. And thank you so much to all my current patrons. See you guys next time on The Joust.